See, with my hair like this, I think I could be like an extra in Bridgerton. Looks very regal pulled back like this. No? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kyrielle. Today we are finally going through my 2020 beauty favourites. Even though we were in lockdown, there's definitely a few products that I gravitated towards, a few favourites that I found throughout the year, or just products that I returned to all over again. I was thinking about doing a separate drugstore and high-end video, but then I was like, we're already almost at the end of January. So I'm just banging it all together in one video. I have filled a box full of stuff, so this is probably going to be a long one. Grab a drink, grab a snack, get some chill clothes on, and let's just talk about some makeup together. Before we get into this massive box, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kyrielle. Clearly you enjoy beauty and makeup and stuff, so if you're not yet, please subscribe. All you need to do is hit the red button down below and the little bell button, and that'll just notify you when I upload next. I'd love to have you here to talk about makeup and things together and have a jolly good time, you know? If you are curious about this makeup, it is coming up in a future video. I did film this. I quite like it. It's got a bit of a graphic neon liner going on. But yeah, enough of that. Without further ado, let's get into this stuff because we're gonna be here for a while. So I'm gonna go through it as I would do my makeup. Obviously starting with primer. So I have 3 primers that I had in rotation that I kept going back to all the time. This one is one that you've seen me use in so many videos. The Origins Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. This stuff blurs your pores like no other. It's such a nice refreshing primer as well. I love this throughout the summer. It just gives you like a pep before you put your makeup on. It's really nice to use. Also unique because it's an aerosol. But it just feels really good on the skin, and you see results like instantly as soon as you put your foundation on. Your pores are basically gone. And I have some big pores because I have oily skin, so this has a task, but it does it well. Next up we have 2 more affordable ones. The first being the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I mean, everyone and their mother loves this. And it's not surprising as to why. I have used quite a bit of this. There's quite a dent in there. It doesn't do as much smoothing as the Origins one does because it's more of like a hydrating formula almost. But it does glide over the skin really nicely. It sinks in really nicely. And I like to use this in more, not dry areas because I don't really have dry areas, but more dehydrated areas then. Especially around my nose. Sometimes I get a little bit of dehydration like around my chin, weirdly. So I like to use it there, but yeah, this is a really good affordable primer. I'm using it a little bit less throughout the winter. I don't know why, but it's definitely one that I go back to. And finally, this one is by XXX Revolution, and it's the Cloud Complexion Primer. This is such a unique texture to it. It's whipped and it feels really cooling on the skin because of the like glass jar, and it just melts into the skin so nicely. It's almost like water when you put it on. It does smooth the skin slightly, but not like completely pore filling, but it definitely does something to smooth out the texture of the skin a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell with this one, but I have used quite a bit of this. As far as the longevity of my makeup, I think the Origins one helps the most because it's a little bit more oil controlling, but I do really like all of these for primers. This is kind of a primer, kind of a foundation, just an illuminator. It's kind of like an all-in-one product, and it's the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. I don't have another product like this that gives the sheen that this does. I have some swatches already on my hand from a video I just filmed, so please try and ignore that. But it just gives this stunning glow to the skin. You can use this under foundation, mixed in with foundation, on top of foundation, and it's a really good multi-purpose product. It works really well. It just leaves a stunning finish to the skin and it blends in seamlessly. They have also released new shades of this, which is amazing news. Not that I'm gonna go out and buy it because it's expensive, but this is generally one of those products that I feel like is worth the splurge because you can use it so much. I will say I do think this may affect finishes of foundations and things because it does have a slight tacky base. So when you put it like on top of your skin, I have to set it because I'm oily. Just bear that in mind considering your skin type and everything. But I personally am oily and I still use it, so. Foundations. Okay, I'm gonna get this one out of the way, only because I started wearing it towards the end of the year, but I did fall in love with it and I did use it quite a lot. This is the NARS Soft Matte foundation that they brought out recently. I really like the finish of this. When we were able to like go out a little bit more and do like a little bit of shopping here and there, I would wear this. It lasts all day. It was so smoothing and completely blanks out my face. It's got such high coverage, but it's so feather light. Yeah, NARS definitely hit it out of the park with this one. It's a really good foundation. Color's a bit off. I find that with all of their shade ranges, it's either very yellow or very pink, but nevertheless, I really like this one. Two affordable foundations. I have to give this a mention, even though it's discontinued now and it's like heartbreaking. It's so freaking annoying. CYO LIFEPROOF. It's just a really good foundation. I was thinking about this the other day because I recently tried the Colourpop Pretty Fresh. That is similar to this, but this is more dewy. It's just the way it lays on the skin. It just like literally melts in. I'm really annoyed that they're discontinuing CYO as a brand in general. But yeah, this was a definite love of 2020. I'm like savoring it now because I've used so much of it. Considering how many foundations I've got, like that's a lot to use for me. Yeah, I'm just kind of making it last as long as I can. And then another one that I fell in love with was the Revolution Conceal and Glow foundation. I love the Conceal and Define foundation. When I first tried that, I loved it. I bought multiple tubes of that stuff, but they brought out the Conceal and Glow and I really like this. It does set down similar to Conceal and Define, but it has luminosity to it. I feel like the name can be a bit confusing because it's not a like glowy hydrating foundation. It does pretty much like set down almost matte, but it has a nice sheen to the skin. But I have used this multiple times and I do really like it, and it lasts a really long time. Concealers. I love concealers. It's like one of my favorite products to actually like try, but I do have my favorites. So let's get into the more high-end first of all. JOUER Essential High Coverage Concealer. So good. I do feel like now it's a little bit on the thicker side for me. This is a new one that I bought and I tried it the other day. I don't know if it's my favorite formula anymore, just because it's a little bit heavier, but the coverage is insane and it doesn't crease too much even though it is a thicker consistency. It's definitely one that I loved through 2020 and I will continue to love it. Right now I feel like I'm in a little bit more of a lighter coverage situation with my concealers, and this is quite heavy duty. And then I have three more that I've used throughout this year and they're all affordable. The first one is the Barium All Night Long Concealer. Now I like this as an eye base. Underneath the eyes I do like it, but it's a little bit matte for me because I do have like dehydrated under eyes, so I prefer using this as an eye base. Like, it's so good. I know it's not something that's suggested to use as an eye base, but because it dries on matte, this is like transfer proof. And I struggle to get my eyeshadow off when I use this as an eye base. So I think it's really good and I'm gonna continue to use it. Even though I am currently trying out other eye bases, I definitely will revert back to this because it's just really good. I feel like this concealer does not get a much love anymore when it really deserves it, and it's the Maybelline Fit Me. It's just one of those like cult concealers that is just so good. It's like a satin finish. It's like easy, malleable, it like blends out easy. It's such a good concealer. The coverage is decent but not crazy. It's one that I go to like pop in my bag. So it's definitely one that I've loved throughout the years and I definitely will continue to do so. And then the final one was a new one that I discovered and I fell in love with. And this is the XXX Revolution Heartbreakers Concealer. This is so hydrating. If you've got dehydrated under eyes, try this. It's like a light to medium coverage though, so if you're going for more of a natural makeup, this would be better for that. It just felt so good and it smells amazing too. Oh, it smells of like a coconutty kind of scent. It's so good. I hate the applicator though, so I did actually decant it into a pot. But this is so radiant and became one of my favorites and still is. I won't linger on this too long because I've spoken about it so much on my channel. But this is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for my under eyes. So I have very, as I said, dehydrated under eyes, so I need a very finely milled powder to set because otherwise it gets excessive creasing, they feel really dry. So I found this and I fell in love with it and that was all she wrote. It is expensive and I haven't found any kind of dupe for it at the moment, which is a tragedy, but it has lasted me a very long time because you don't need a lot, so I guess that's a good thing. Face powders. I have two that are very similar but very different price points. First one, I don't even know if this is available anymore, but it's the Jaclyn Hill Do Me Luminous Powder. It's basically a setting powder with a little bit of blurring properties, but a luminous finish. When I say luminous, that's what I mean. It's not shiny, it's not beaming. It literally just almost adds like a silkiness to the skin. It's similar to the Hourglass kind of finishes. Just adds like a little something, a little bit of life to the skin. I just kind of would swirl like a big brush and then just lightly powder over the skin, and this is a really nice powder. It's so goddamn expensive. Got it when it was on sale for like 20 something, which is still a ridiculous amount. I still use it, still really like it, but it is just very expensive. A similar powder that is very inexpensive but does a similar thing is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. Again, has a lit from within sheen to it and looks really nice. Yeah, I still really like this powder and I use this quite a bit throughout 2020. And my current favourite that I keep using over and over and over again that I found in 2020 also is the H&B Cosmetics Soft Focus Powder. This stuff is so good. It's kind of like a mid-range price. It's £14, but it blurs so nicely. It's so lightweight. I can use this underneath my under eyes and lightly set and it doesn't affect them. So I've almost abandoned my Laura Mercier, which is like, that is something. But yeah, this was a definite find of 2020 for me. I just really love it. It just literally smooths out the skin. I guess it does what it says on the tin. It leaves like a soft focus on your skin, blurs out your skin. I highly recommend it if you have not picked it up. Okay, so bronzers and blushes. This year for me was definitely the year of the cream. I've never ever been drawn to cream products before really, as far as like blushes and bronzers go anyway. So the first one that I have to mention, which I mean, I feel like they just do good products in general, is the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. It is more of a contour shade, I will say. I use this kind of as a multi-purpose thing. If I use it concentrated, it's more of a shadow, and then if I kind of blend it out a little bit, it gives off a little bit of warmth. But I have definitely loved this a lot. Can you see that dent? That's from me like pounding my brush in that. But I've used this so much and it's still a favorite product. I always go to it. Just blends into the skin so seamlessly. And the same product in a different form, the matchsticks, I use it all the time. If I want a little bit more of a harsh contour, I'll like draw a line, or I'll like pat it onto a brush and go in with that. I use both products. It just depends what mood I'm in really. And I mean, they're basically the same thing, just in a slightly different form. This has a slightly more matte finish than the cream, but still both really good. A more affordable cream bronzer that I actually did really love last year is the L'Oreal Havana Camila Cabello collaboration Sunlit Bronzer. This has a sheen to it, but it doesn't really show up on the skin too much. I guess this is more of a liquid product, but on the skin in the summer, this looks so nice. It comes out pretty dark and kind of scary, but when you blend it out, it's sheer, so you can build it up. You can go really light. I like to play on this with like a fluffy kind of dense brush, like patting it around and then just blending and buffing it out. It's lightweight, it feels really nice on the skin. It kind of dries down after a little while, but then I do set it as well. But it does give a very warm glow. It does have like a pinch of yellow, so I felt like I could get away with it. If it was more red, then it would be like a no for me. The sheen to it did make it look really natural and glowy, so I really like that one. Blush, again, cream kind is all I've pretty much been going to. This one is, you guessed it, the Fenty cream blush. I love this tone. It's so beautiful. This is the shade Petal Poppin', and I just love it. It's just such a nice formula, very creamy, almost like a matte finish though on the skin. Such a pretty shade, oh my gosh. Obviously on my face it's not this pigmented and I kind of sheer it out a little bit, but still a definite favorite and I continue to love it. And the second one is the Blush by Mitchell. I can't stop using this thing. I use it underneath foundation, over foundation. It just, you can put this over powder even. It's such a nice formula. It's more whipped. This color is Peach Sugar, and I do actually have Mango Daiquiri, which is like the orangey shade in the background right there, which is a little bit more intense, but this like neutral one. In general, I use this blush like so much if I'm doing my makeup, and it's just effortless to use. I feel like you can't do any wrong with it. And also it's great on the lips because of the whipped formula. So good. It's like multi-purpose, really nice. Okay, on to one of the best topics, which is highlighter. First off, I have to apologize for how grubby this is, but I have used it that much and loved it a lot. So this is the Rach Loves X Pixie palette. I have used this so much. It is such a mess, and also the mirror's broken. No. bad luck for me. I have like a dent in lace clutch. Like I've used these so much. The formula in these, oh, so smooth and just melts into the skin. I like the fact that you can mix them. I have mixed and matched them. Obviously I can't use the deeper shade. I have used that as eyeshadow though. Works really well. And I have also used the purple as well. So I have utilized this palette, and I do think it's genius to have it as like a mixing palette as well as just a highlighting palette. I just cannot get over how buttery these are. Like I'm sorry. I love you so much. If you're looking for a highlight palette, I would highly recommend this one. It is a little bit more on the pricey side. I would say Pixie is, but it's definitely worth it for the amount you get in that palette. Another palette I've used quite a bit, but more off camera, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild palette. I more use this for like more creative looks, like on Instagram or anything like that. I really love the shades in here. Main ones I've used are Pink Heart, Blue Ice, and Lucky Clover. They're just great additions to colourful makeup. Just one of those palettes that I didn't know I'd use a lot, but I have actually used and utilized quite a bit. So definitely have to give a shout out to this. I got it on sale, I think, for about £11. So if you can and you want it, try and get it on sale. And then I have two single highlighters that I have to shout out. It's another pricey one, but I do have an affordable one. This is the OFRA highlighter in Star Island. It's just a perfect shade for me. The formula of these, again, are insane, and I've used a lot of this. Like the actual pan of the OFRA highlighters have little segments on them, and they're metal, and the actual metal is started to be exposed on the segments of this. I've used it so much. I really love OFRA's formula. It's one of the most blinding buttery formulas, on par to Pixie. Like they're very much up there with each other. And yeah, I did not put this down in 2020. And the final one, which I have mentioned quite a lot on my channel because I was blown away with the formula when I tried this, and it's the Xxx Revolution highlighter in the shade Echo. This is more of like a baked formula, but it is completely blinding and so soft to the touch. Like, look how reflective that is. I love this. It again melts into the skin. It is a similar kind of spiel with all of these highlighters because that's what I like. I'd prefer it to look more metallic and skin-like all in once. But yeah, I was blown away. Xxx Revolution is more pricey than their normal range, but considering the price of it, it felt like an OFRA highlighter, so I was like, what? Yeah, I definitely love this and I highly recommend. I'm trying to wrap my head around some setting sprays that I loved in 2020. The Morphe one, I think, is one that I really did like, but one that stood out to me was the Shake and Glow by L'Oreal. This stuff is so good. And the mister, amazing for an affordable price. The scent, it smells a bit like rose, but the actual finish on the skin is lovely as well. It is more of a dewy finish, so if you have oily skin, bear that in mind. But I still use this when I was going to be wearing my makeup for maybe not too long and I wanted my skin to look nice, or if I just needed like a refresher. You just... so fine and not too expensive as well. Alright guys, we're getting on to the final few products now. I swear we've got eyes and lips to go. My camera battery is flashing at me, so I'm gonna go switch it out. I'll be right back. Guess who managed to delete the last few clips of this video? This bitch right here. So I come back to you, completely different outfit, hair, makeup, the lot. Oh, and a different day. I'm sorry about this interlude, but let's carry on with the product, shall we? Moving swiftly on to eyes. I have a mascara favourite that I've used throughout the year, and that is the Maybelline Falsies mascara. I really love this, really volumizing, really lengthening. I've used it a lot. As it's kind of like dried out, it's got better. It's got a lovely hourglass wand, which is one of my favourites. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed using this. I don't know if it's my favourite mascara, but it is a very good one and I have been reaching for it pretty much throughout the whole of 2020 ever since I reviewed it. It's a really good mascara. I have 3 eyeshadow palettes in total that I want to talk about that I've reached for so much and that have helped me use makeup as in more like a daily routine. There was a minute where I didn't really want to wear makeup. I can't lie, 2020 was a shit year for all of us. I think you guys all know how it feels, but these palettes I've used in my personal time and they sparked a little bit more of inspiration back into me. So let's go right on into it. The first one is the PURELESS Raw Beauty Crispy palette. This has become one of my favorites. If I needed a compact neutral palette, this is what I would reach for. I've used this side so much. The actual packaging's all like grubby and stuff. I've got a considerable little dent in copper boxes. It's just an easy palette to use and it's so blendy. It also smells weirdly good, like vanilla-y. The shimmers are also a stunning addition to all of the mattes in here. It's just one of those things that I can just put in my makeup bag. Like, it's that small, it can fit in there. I have played with the colourful side, but not as much as I have the neutrals. For me, this is just one of those palettes that I love because it's such a good product and the formula is so good, but I'm also supporting someone who I love to watch. This has definitely helped me get back into makeup because I love doing like smoky glam with the neutral side, and then if I wanted to, I can add a pop of colour. I know this was limited edition, so I'm sorry if you can't get your hands on it, but it is a favourite of 2020 and I still keep going towards it because it's such a nice, compact, well thought out palette with amazing formula. Next one is the Be Perfect Carnival palette. Now I've actually got the XL Pro and also the, is it Tahiti palette? I haven't fully played around with those yet, but they are a similar formula. I would play around with this a lot for the neutrals actually. These three shades up here, I've played with them quite a bit. And obviously for more colourful looks, I've used the colours in here. Be Perfect has one of the easiest formulas to use I have ever tried. The pigment is amazing, but it just blends, and I find the colours are well thought out and they all work together really well. If you look at this palette, you've pretty much got a bright and a deepening shade, which I love. Stacey Marie and herself on Instagram does loads of different looks and is very inspiring just as a makeup artist. I waited so long to pick up this palette, but I honestly wish I had picked it up sooner. I just wasn't willing to pay the, you know, extreme price. Well, it's not extreme, I guess. It's just more pricey than what I wanted to pay. Every single palette I bought from Be Perfect Cosmetics has always been in the sale, even the Tahiti palette. I think I got that for £22 when it went on sale. If they're all the same formula, I imagine they're all going to be really good, and I cannot wait to dip and dive into the other ones. I'm planning to do some videos with them at some point. I've just got some other things lined up at the moment, but I'm definitely going to play around with these on my channel and probably do some more creative looks because these have so much colour and stuff in them. I think it's only fair that I do something creative, and I want to really think out the looks that I do with these. But yeah, it's definitely something I gravitated towards in 2020 and I was blown away with the formula. So good. The final one is such a random one, and it was actually a gift from my partner, and I did not think the formula on this was going to be as good as it actually is. This is the Essence Never Give Up Your Dream eyeshadow palette. It's an all shimmer palette and they are just pastel shimmers. I cannot believe how buttery these shades are, and the reflect on them is so pretty. These are a perfect addition to the Pastels palette by Beauty Bay, which actually that should be in my favorites too. Where is that? It was in a recent video, so I put it to the side. These two together go hand in hand because you have the pastel mattes and then the pastel shimmers, and these are both so affordable. In general though, this Essence palette is just really good for pops of shimmer, even on the lid, on the inner corner. You have an array of different colours, and I can always pick up this palette and it'll go with the look that I'm doing generally because it gives you so many options. Some of them do have a slightly less metallic finish, so it's more of like a satin. The actual formula of these is crazy for the price. I'm so glad I have it in my collection. Just briefly touch on this one. If you're a regular, you already know. I love the Pastels palette. These are so creamy, they're so buttery, they're so pigmented for pastels. Like that was literally one dip. Okay, you get the picture. I still use a white base with them because they are, at the end of the day, pastels, and that's the way they are going to thrive on your skin tone. But I just love this palette. In addition to other palettes, as blending shades works so well, or just as a standalone palette. I did a full look just with this palette in a video. Again, I'll link it over here if you're interested. It's just something you kind of need in your collection, in my opinion. If you're not going to use it by itself, it's just giving you additional blending shades to so many colors, and I will probably forever have this in my collection as long as Beauty Bay don't discontinue it like they did the Mitchell palette. I've had my say, Beauty Bay, I've had my say. So yeah, these are all the palettes that have been my favorites in 2020 and for however long I have them. We are almost on lips, but I want to mention these as well because these are things that I have used a lot. I have an obsession with easy added sparkle or glamour to a look. If you can make it easy for me, I'm going to be eternally grateful to you. Gone are the days really where I'm using loose glitter. These are the next best thing. First one I have to mention because it's so affordable, and these have been in my life since I was like a teenager, and that is the collection Glam Crystals. These are so good. I think they're like $1.99 or $2.99. They come in an array of different shades. This one is my favorite though, and it is Cosmic Stars. And it's just a clear base with all sorts of different sparkles in it, which I doubt you're going to be able to see on camera, but I've used this so much in addition to just makeup that's just, you know, generally boring. I'll just pop this over top and it just adds something just sparkly, and I just love it. I think my favorite thing about it is the price, because it's so affordable, it's so accessible to so many people, and they have been around for years. So if you haven't tried these out before, I 100% recommend them. I would say not to layer them up too much because they can crumble if you do, but if you just use a light layer, they will last all day. Alright, and on the more bougie side, we have the Stila Magnificent Metals, but these ones are slightly different. These are called the Little White Lies. Now these are like a light base with pearlescent or glitters in them, and these have been my two favorite. Never did I think it would be a green color. We have Mint Myth and then also Yellow Tails. These used to cut the crease, to do a little glitter liner, to just have nothing on the lid and just dab this across. These are so beautiful. These are the things that I love about makeup, is just the pretty things like this. They just add something so much to a look. The final detail, the finishing touch, the piece de resistance, you know. I just love these. They are so good. They last all day, they dry down, and I just can't praise them enough. I mean, I think everybody knows about these, but just in case you didn't, I just wanted to let you know. I think, as you can tell though, I like the lighter tones. All of these are like very pastel things. They're my favorite, okay. And we're on to the final category, which is lips. Lip liners. There's pretty much only one brand exclusively that I use of lip liners. Well, two. But this is the one that I've been going towards throughout the whole of 2020, and it is by Primark. I cannot believe how affordable these are. They are £1, and how pigmented they are and creamy. And they last all day. These are such a good formula. It's crazy. You don't need to spend a lot of money on lip liner. Like, you just don't. This is probably one of the ones I've used the most, and it's in the shade Toast, and it is just kind of like a warm nudie brown. It's a good base for pretty much any nude lip. So yeah, I cannot deny they are so good, especially for the price. It's insane. I have 3 liquid lipsticks that I definitely went towards throughout 2020, mainly because, well, if I was wearing any lipstick at all, it needed to be able to go underneath a mask. The first one, I've had this for a few years now. Probably shouldn't be using it, but I do. It is on its way out. I have used it a lot. This is by Dose of Colours, and it's in the shade Old Flame. I love this for autumn winter. The formula on the Dose of Colours liquid lipsticks is so whipped and creamy. It does dry down matte, but I like to blot it because I don't feel like it's completely transfer proof. This is a reoccurring favourite, so I had to mention it. The next one, if you need something to wear underneath a mask, these by Maybelline, they are bulletproof. This is the Superstay Ink liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade 60 Poet. This is more of a pinky nude, so it's just nice for like an everyday liquid lipstick. And again, this formula, it won't go anywhere. You could eat like straight up olive oil and it would still be there. It's got really good lasting power, and I definitely like this to wear underneath masks. And then finally, this was a new find. I actually found this in TK Maxx, I think, and I actually like the formula. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Naked, and it's, as you would imagine, a very nudie nude. It's the perfect peachy nude. I especially like to use this to lighten up other liquid lipsticks. I had heard that they were quite drying, but I thought I'd try it out, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I kept reaching for it. I had to include my Morphe lipsticks. Okay, again, nobody talks about these. I don't even see like Morphe affiliated people mention these either. It's so bizarre to me. They are so soft. It's so creamy. This is probably my most used shade, which is Wifey. I have used so much of it. That's all I've got left. But these go on offer all the time for around £6, and I love it. It's so almost moisturizing, but it's a matte look lip. I just love it. They're not transfer proof, so underneath the mask they're not really that helpful. But it's literally like one of my favorite formulas of lipstick ever. I've also used the shade Boo quite a lot, which is more of like a neutral nude. That's Boo over there. So yeah, overall I really loved the formula of Morphe's matte lips. And then the final lipstick formula that I fell in love with in 2020 is by Doll Beauty. This is the shade Golden Girl. Now this is more of a cream finish, so it definitely has a shine to it. That's the colour there. Oh, I just love the peachy colour of it. I've used this quite a lot, like actually more than I thought. And it makes your lips look plump. The way the shine is, it just makes your lips look very plump and full. So I really love their lipsticks. Hands down one of my favorite formulas ever. And finally, two favorite glosses. I believe these have been featured on my channel a load as well. I've got the CYO gloss, which again is going to be discontinued, so I don't want to harp on about it too much, but it is a non-sticky formula. Oh my god, it smells so good. It literally smells like cupcake frosting. My favorite shade is Crowd Pleaser, just a peachy kind of nude color. But I'm not gonna harp on about that anymore because my heart will break a little bit. And the final one that I have is Honeyed by MUA. Underrated, I don't hear anybody talk about it. Again, non-sticky formula, beautiful color. It's got like a gold shimmer almost throughout it. It is so gorgeous and so affordable. I believe this was like £3 maybe? Maybe even cheaper than that. The only thing is this was with a collection and I don't know if it's available anymore. So both the glosses I like may not be available. That's great. Side by side, they look very similar though, don't they? I just really like these glosses and I'm sorry if you can't get them. But anyway, these are my favorites. And now I don't feel so bad. Okay, so I'm finally gonna finish this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, are any of my favorites also your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below. List off a few of your favorite things and if there's anything that I need to try. I mean, clearly not that I need any more makeup, but you know, it's always nice to try new things, you know? If you've made it this far and you're not yet subscribed, I mean, hopeful, please hit the red subscribe button down below and the little bell button just to get notified of when I upload next, which now I should be uploading every Monday and Thursday. If you missed it or didn't get notified, I put a poll up on my community tab on my channel because I really want to upload more and I want to have a schedule, but these videos are for you guys, so I wanted it to be more convenient for you to watch my videos. So I put a poll up to ask when you guys wanted me to upload and the majority of you guys voted for Monday and Thursday. If you haven't already voted, please go vote. If I can, I'll leave it in the eye over here for you guys so you can vote on it. I'd really appreciate it because obviously I want to put the videos up when you guys are gonna want to view them, so it'd be super duper helpful for me. Thank you to you guys who already did vote for me. I already feel a lot better about doing 2 videos a week. I just felt like one just wasn't cutting it for me. So yeah, I think that's all from me now. If you did like this video, please leave a thumbs up so I know. I definitely feel like I need to do more favorites throughout the year because we're already in January and I've already tried some products that I think I'm going to love. So instead of saving it for next year, I might do like a quarterly favorites or something. We shall see. Anyway, I'm gonna stop babbling. I'm sorry for the turbulence in this video, but yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world and I hope to see you on the next one on Thursday. Till then, bye guys.